Hey guys, it's me again. So let's continue talking about Love is Blind. Today we're going to talk about episode 1 of season 1 of Love is Blind. Episode 1. Okay, it's not happening. Anyway, so guys, I must confess. I'm new at this. So I have no idea on how to edit videos. This is the second video I'm making on episode 1. And I wanted to introduce the characters today, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So I'm just gonna play around with my phone because I'm using my phone to record this and see if I can find a way of doing it. If not, we're just gonna play around with our imagination, okay? I mean, this is almost like we're talking about how blind dates are going, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna play around with our imaginations if need be. Anyway. So let's dive right back into it. Now, back to the show. They bring 15 single, good-looking men and 15 single, good-looking women. You guys, those people are beautiful. I promise you, really beautiful people. They did a good job. And things I liked, they had a very good race balance. You know how people are sensitive nowadays in regards to trying to balance the race in any form of group or gathering or any such thing. So I found that they tried to have a good race balance. Good job, guys. What else? The men were looking good. They're looking healthy and they look like they've been living in the gym, guys. If I was a man, I'd be intimidated. Yeah, I'd be intimidated. Plus, they had really good jobs. So as the women, very, very beautiful, good-looking women, and they all had good jobs. And I honestly liked that because if you're dating out here, it is a struggle. People just come to you and they just want to start a relationship with you, or whatever it is, and they don't even have good jobs, and you're like, where are we heading to? I feel like it's good for a person to be to be in a position where they're able to provide for themselves and have enough to provide for the other. And not that I'm saying that when you get into a relationship, the other person should not have a job. No, I would typically, a good scenario for me would be a guy with a good job, perhaps, and a lady with a good job. I want two people who are able to, bring something on the table, and build an empire, So yeah, the fact that the contestants had good jobs was a plus to me. It was a big plus to me. All right, okay. So yeah, they all get there. Now the women have their own living facility, the men live separately, and they all just come to talk inside these little pods that are close to each other, and the walls are so thin they can hear each other. So it's like blind dating, okay? So the first day they get there, the women are checking each other out. You're looking at your competitors. The men are checking each other out as well. You know for a fact this guy will be talking to a woman you like, da-da-da-da. So it's pretty, funny. And they all get interviewed and they talk about their expectations for the show and how they perceive it. And, it's a reality show. So you know how it goes, right? Okay. So after they're given a go-ahead to go and start dating, so the men, they line up on, I don't know how to explain it, but they line up on their end and the women line up on their end, and they all get into these little pods individually, right? So you have one man getting into a pod, another lady getting into a pod, and they start talking. And it's pretty funny because it's like, you're getting into this pod and you're like, hello. And, the other guy on the other side is like, hello. So funny. And something I observed that was quite interesting was some people manage to mess it up on the first date. And I'm like, how do you even do that? You already know what you're diving right into, and the first sentence that comes out of your mouth is something stupid. And from that, I kind of thought about it. I was like, there are people who lack the ability to be able to initiate a conversation, And that's just them. It doesn't make them a bad person. It's just that they're poor at initiating a conversation. Perhaps if somebody else initiated, they can carry on a conversation. And you have other people who are really like horrible at carrying on a conversation as it is. But in this scenario, it's like it is a downside, because if you're unable to initiate a good conversation, the other person on the other end is already turned off by you, and they just like already push you away. They're like, okay, you just like, no. So that's one of the things that I found to be a downside for those people who had, lacked the ability to initiate a good conversation, or just, begin your conversation, something catchy, something funny perhaps, so that was that. Now, I'm just gonna like read out names of characters that I felt were quite interesting and they were gonna make it throughout the season, all right? Obviously, not everybody makes it through the season. So, and also, I had a sneak peek of the other episode. I couldn't help it, guys. This thing is like, it's like honey, Anyway, so I scribbled them down in this little notebook because I cannot know the names at the top of my head after the first day. All right, let me just stop giving you a lot of explanations. You guys are probably getting bored at this point. First name, Mark. He's a gym instructor, and he kind of, got it kicking with a lady by the name Jessica. She's a regional manager. Now, Mark is 24 years and Jessica is 34. So they have a 10-year age difference. The guy is younger, the lady's a little older, all right? So these two kind of clicked. Once they started talking to each other inside the pod, they kind of clicked. We have Lauren, who's a content creator. She's 32. And Cameron, who's a scientist, he's 27. We have Burnett. Now, Burnett is a smooth operator. Burnett kind of clicked with 3 women on the first day, and it's like, wow, okay. So Burnett, he's 27. He's an engineer. He kicked off with Jessica, the one just mentioned, who's 34, regional manager. Amber, who's 26, who's an ex-tank mechanic, and Elsie, who's 26, and I have no idea what she does. And then we have Diamond. She's a professional basketball dancer. She got it kicking with Carlton. He's 34. He's a social media marketer. All right, that's pretty much all. So let me talk about the couple that just had me going crazy. Lauren, who's a content creator, 32, and Cameron. These people start talking and, they're flowing. And on their second date, they're out there talking and crying. And I'm like, why are you guys crying? So they were like bonding and the conversation was flowing and this is so sweet. This is so good. On the third day, they're like, I like you too. On the fourth date, Lauren, the girl, is like, Cameron, I love you. How do you fall in love on the fourth day, guys? I fail. I refuse to can. I fail to understand. And Cameron is like, I love you too. Like, let me tell you something. It almost felt like this was a terrible joke. So now, the fifth day, Cameron proposes. He's like, will you be my wife? And Lauren is like, yeah, I'll be your wife. And they meet. Guys, I'm losing it. My question is it possible for somebody to fall in love, for real, and fall in love within 4 days and be able to look at someone as a potential spouse and even go ahead and ask them to marry you? Did they play us there? Really? That by far, I watched that part and I was like, that's it for episode 1. Some of us, we have stayed in this world not so long. I'm very young, as you can see, but child, we lack the abilities to fast track the process of knowing somebody in a normal world, leave alone 5 days or 4 days. What do you guys think? Is it possible to just know somebody within 4 to 5 days and ask them to marry you? Let me know what you think.